Hello, Howard Hoover. This is Mr. Hain. This video goes along with first grade's penguins at a beach picture. For this project, I'm going to show you how we're going to draw a penguin standing at the beach, because who wouldn't want some nicer weather right now? When I show you this, you can make any kind of beach you want, a different version of a penguin or more penguins. That's totally fine. I'm just going to show you mine, and then I'm going to use crayons to color it in. So, of course, if you want to use markers or watercolors, that's fine. Okay, let's jump into it. Alright, so I'm going to start, as always, with my pencil, and then I'm going to outline with Sharpie, and then move into coloring it with my crayons. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my penguin, because that gives me a placement of where I'm going to put kind of everything else. So I'm going to start with my penguin, probably down here in the corner, because off in the side here I'm going to draw my beach and maybe a palm tree to make it look like it's going back a little bit. So we can draw a really simple penguin. So the first shape for the penguin is I just make this kind of rounded shape, like a big upside down U. Then I can draw part that connects. Draw a little triangle for the beak. A little white for the stomach. Draw the eyes. Little highlights. Put the little flippers here. And I'm going to put my little feet, they're going to be here. I know they have more like flippers, but I'm just kind of making my little feet like that. So there's my very simple, kind of cute penguin. Now for the beach part, what I'm going to do is bring, not really, you can do above him if you want, but actually, yeah, I'm going to go above. So I'll bring my line that comes across down here. This is kind of the edge of the sand. So I'm going to come back almost like we did with the polar bears on the ice. Make your zigzag that those lines bring down like this. Okay, bring some wavy lines that are going to be kind of crashing on the shore. A couple other wavy lines. Then I can draw here a palm tree coming in the back. Palm tree is kind of, the way I like to draw them is where they're like bent over, kind of like this. And make your center part. I think it's helpful to draw the center of the large leaves first. So I draw the center here, and then I can make them kind of all one. It'll be easier to color these jaggedy lines, let them overlap a little bit. My big palm tree leaves. Another one here. Put a couple if you want some grass in. Whatever you want, you can add that onto your beach. If you want to do a sun, you could certainly draw a sun in the corner. Clouds if you want. Again, do mine bumpy with a kind of a straight bottom. Whatever it is you want to add to your penguins at the beach. Then I'm going to take my Sharpie and carefully outline everything with my black Sharpie. I can fill in certain areas like the eyes, leave those white. I could use a Sharpie if I wanted to color in the body of my penguin. Here to the sand color. Again, remember that our pencil is just a guide, so if something goes wrong, or I decide here I kind of want those bumps of the palm tree on that side too, I'll just draw those in with my Sharpie and erase them. Outline everything. Do my waves now. You know, something you could add if you wanted, I always think looks kind of nice, is like mountains way in the distance. Of course that's optional, but it just kind of helps give a little perspective, meaning we understand where the water is, the sand, and space in general. So I could draw like a straight line, like that would be the ocean here, and then way off in the distance would be the mountains. Again, just visually makes a little more sense if you want to add that. I'll do my clouds too. When I colored this, remember, we talk a lot about it in the classroom, and I don't know that I've mentioned it in my videos yet, but when we're coloring our blue sky, remember the blue starts at the top and goes all the way down to the ground. So all of this would be blue or your sky color. We don't have a blue strip and a weird little white space, okay? Should all be filled in nice and neat. Take my eraser, erase my pencil lines, see if you missed anything. And you'll be ready to color. I'm going to show you a couple things that I think are important to note. Alright, one is the green of the palm tree with the leaves. And I have two greens here. I'm going to start with my normal, just green first, because I might not need this lighter one, but I'm going to start with this. Remember that our leaves, anything with a light source, if these leaves are all growing out of the center, you're going to have less sunlight that's making it down in here in the deeper parts of it. It would be lighter up here. So I'm going to, again, first just color my whole leaf one color as like kind of like my base starting point. And then I can decide where I want my darker areas. Remember, it's circles and more pressure for darker areas. So in the center here, as I get further away, I'm just going to lighten up my pressure. I might have a little bit darker on this side, just because if my sun's off to the right. So something like that. Do the same thing here. Darker. Again, lightly block it all in. And more pressure to get your shading. Again, just makes for a more interesting, more dynamic picture. Okay, so I'd color that in. The palm tree, same thing. If you want to add, find my brown. If my sun's over here, that means this side of the tree is going to be lighter than this side. So I'm going to go ahead and just lightly block in my brown all over. Then, only on this side of it now, I'm going to make my darker parts. So more pressure, lighten up as I get further away from that side. Probably up here, the whole thing, like this whole section would be darker because it'd have shadows from the leaves. Okay, so it just again gives a little life. If you want it even, go in with maybe your orange or your yellow. That's red orange, it's a little bright. Let's go with, ooh, dandelion. Go on just this light side, just a little bit of the yellow. Okay, just a little more variety, a little more color in our picture. Okay, sand would be the same way. If you might want to mix your sand with your yellow, orange, and your brown, where I could lightly go over very lightly the whole thing with both colors. Kind of really give you that sand color and separate it from the palm tree. So it would be lightly coloring in the entire thing. Do my brown very light and go back with my yellow orange, not just orange, yellow orange, so it's a little bit lighter, and fill that all in. Here in the cliffs, not cliffs, but the little edge of the sand, like we did our the polar bear on the ice, it's going to be darker in here. So again, circle motions, more pressure, lighten up as I get further away, go back with my yellow orange just to keep with that sand color. Okay, just so it's darker here. Okay, then your mountains, your waves, I would pick a separate blue for your sky and your water. The blue-green, if you're using crayons, would give a nice kind of aqua water color to it. It has a little more of a greenish color than it would be like your sky blue, your really light blue. Okay, sound good? I'll be excited to see what you guys make. Hope you liked it, and I'll see you soon.